Let's go.
Alright, hello everybody. So, a little break from the format. This limited set review on archetypes will focus on, as you can see in front of you here, the rocket set. Right? But there's a catch to it, which is this set is so very large that I can't do this with another archetype review at the same time. So this one is solely on the rocket set. So I hope you all sit in and let's get into it. So the simplest way to understand the rocket set, before I get into all these Pokemon, we'll start with the smaller ones. So firstly, in the rocket set, they function around, this here is very useful, this energy. So they function on this energy. This is Team Rocket's energy. It provides 2, darkness or psychic or any combination as you'd like when it's attached to a rocket Pokemon. If it's attached to anything other than rocket Pokemon, it gets discarded. So, exclusive to the rocket deck. So, just keeping that in mind, I'll reference this as we go in forward. No special arts or anything. So, there we go. Next, we have the rocket trainers. So, let's start with the stadiums. Because they have 2. We have Team Rocket Factory, which once per turn allows you to draw 2 cards if you play the supporter with Team Rocket in its name, which is all the Rocket supporters, which is pretty strong. And Team Rocket's Watchtower, which turns off all normal type Pokemon. They're not basic, because every time you say normal Pokemon, people think basic. All normal type. I never said normal type basic. Normal type. Doesn't matter if it's a stage 1, stage 4, stage 2, all normal type Pokemon, this turns off their abilities. So from Pidgeot, go straight back to Ursaluna. Again, pretty strong in a format where a lot of box decks play Noctowl. So, very good. This is actually sideboarded in a lot of decks. I say sideboarded, right? I mean splashed in a lot of decks just to win those matchups and put them at a disadvantage. It also stops a bunch of the EVs. So the EV from evolving. It also stops EV from evolving on that turn 1. So, pretty strong card. So now let's get into the supporters. Right? There we go, all supporters. So let's take off all the extra stuff. There we go. And like I said, large block of supporters. We have 5 rocket supporters. Right? So each of them fill a particular role, but they'll be similar to another supporter that you would have used, or even some A-specs. So let's start with the simplest one, Team Rocket's Proton. Alright, it allows you to use it on your first turn, meaning it's a supporter you could use turn 1 like Carmine. And it allows you to search your deck for up to 3 Rocket basic Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand. Doesn't put them onto your bench, meaning you can get to play them. And gets you 3 of them on turn 1. So this is basically a VIP pass in the Rocket set. Right? So pretty good. Very good start. And when I go through the items and tools, you'll see why this is actually, let's go through that. Let's go through that at once. You look at all the rocket cards at once. Oops. Right, there we go. So we just went to a Rocket Proton. There are 2 cards that will be good references here. One is Team Rocket's Transcevier, which is an item that lets you search for any supporter card with Team Rocket in its name. Meaning all of these cards here are fair game. So this turns into any supporter at any point in the game. Unless you're blocked off by Purdue or Jellicent, they can't stop you. It's very versatile and much better than Pokegear for pure Rocket decks. We have the Rocket Venture Bomb, which was a coin flip that does 2 damage, or 2 damage counters. On heads, the opponent type gets it. On tails, you decide where it goes on your own Pokemon. And a format with Monkey, that's not really much of a loss. We have Rocket's Great Ball, which is a good play on both Great Ball as well as Capture Aroma. Flip a coin. If heads, search for an evolutionary Team Rocket Pokemon. If tails, you search for a basic. So this allows you to search for evolution and basic Pokemon on top of Proton. And again, as you can see here, item. So 4 copies, really good. And my personal favorite, because I like irritating shit, Team Rocket's Butterbot. Confusing, so I'll explain. Turn one of your opponent's prize cards face down prize cards face up. So you look at their prize card first, and then you decide, after you look at the hand, pick a random card, and you decide if you want to swap those. Meaning, you have a card in the hand with the prize card you flipped up. But when you swap them, or if you choose not to, that prize card remains face up. So you have an idea of what prize card they have, and you have either one card in their hand. If the hand's low or limited, it's pretty good. So after 0 sec, when they keep the most 3 important cards, get rid of it. Or just in a combination with grabber, you get rid of a Pokemon, you see on a troublesome card. Here, put that in your prizes so you don't get it back, and hold a card that may not be as useful. So yeah, pretty interesting. And now let's get back to our supporters now. So like I said, they all seem familiar. Firstly, we have this here, Team Rocket's Giovanni, which is basically a prime catcher as a supporter. But again, it works on switching your active Rocket Pokemon. Right? So it swaps Rocket Pokemon for Rocket Pokemon and then swaps one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it can only be used on like heavy Rocket decks. But still pretty good. Alright. Then we have Team Rocket's Ariana. Alright, so this is one of the more popular and very strong cards in the set. It makes you draw until you have 5. Not really that bad, not really good, but if all your Pokemon are Rocket Pokemon, you draw till 8. So that's super strong. 8 cards, and don't forget there's the other stadium that gives you 2 more cards, so you can actually get 10 cards in hand with this, which often happens. So that number of card selection is pretty good. Then we have Petrel here, which allows you to search for any trainer card and put it in your hand. So this is actually outside of Rocket, so you can actually find any trainer, including other supporters and anything else. And the final one, saving the best for last, is this one, Team Rocket's Archer, where you can only use it if one of your Rocket Pokemon is knocked out. But then each pair shuffles and your opponent gets 5, you get 5, so your opponent gets 3. So this is basically an unfair stamp that you can run 4 off in your deck. This is a prime catcher which can also run 4 off in your deck. And this is an excellent draw engine. This is a VIP pass. This searches for anything. And you have multiple ways to get to them. So the support for this set on top of the energy is amazing. That in itself leads to many types of decks, and we haven't gotten into the Pokemon yet. So now let's get into the Pokemon. Right? So let's go Rocket, T-E-M-R, Team Rocket. There we go. So there's a lot of Pokemon as you can see here. So we'll be taking them in lines. I'll go from the most important and most seen down to the more niche ones. So, easy first one, we have Articuno. Repelling Veil, prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to your basic Rocket Pokemon. Right? So, this will protect from Dragapult and all that, but as it says, it doesn't protect from damage. Right? And it only protects your basic Pokemon, so the Rocket Evolutions won't be protected, but very strong, especially in a format with Dragapult. Doesn't stop Grimmsnarl, doesn't stop Monkey, because it's only effects from attacks, but it's still enough coverage to warrant at least a 1-off in every Rocket deck. The next one that's very common in Rocket decks would be, let's find them, is Team Rocket's Tarantula, which doesn't do much, but Team Rocket's Spidops, which this charging up ability brings back a basic energy from your graveyard, mind you, any basic energy, and attaches it to this Pokemon. So it's very easy to get this attack off, and the attack does 30 damage for each of your Rocket Pokemon in play. Again, we're in a format with Area 0 on the depths. Your own opponent's Area 0 on the depths could actually net you a big massive damage, because if you have 8 Rocket Pokemon, 8 by 30 is 240 on a 1 prize. That's amazing. Actually more than 240. You'll count him as well, so 9. 280. That's pretty strong. And it feeds itself. Often will be followed by Wobbuffet. This attack isn't very good, but this first one, Rocket Mirror, moves all damage from one of your bench Rocket Pokemon, puts it on your opponent's active. So if something has a lot of damage, you could actually turn that around. Again, strong. But the titular Rocket Pokemon is Team Rocket's Mewtwo. And Team Rocket's Mewtwo has an ability that's actually a downside, Power Saver. So this can only attack if you control 4 or more Team Rocket Pokemon. So can just attack with it if it's alone, problem. But the attack Erasure Ball has base 160, but you see that double pip cost there of Psychic can be replaced by a single Rocket Energy, which just makes this cost 1 additional. And it does allow you to discard up to 2 energies from your bench Pokemon for this attack to do 60 more for each. So that carries this up to 280. And with the with the Rocket's Spidops, sorry, I keep saying Tarantula, with its Spidops, you could actually have a stable source of energy to discard that can keep coming back. So most likely see will be playing the Mewtwo. Well, let's get into the other cards now to see how they are. So the next one that's fairly popular enough would be, there's a Zubat build, where when you rub the gold bat, it allows you to put 2 damage counters on something. Of this one, same thing, another 2 damage counters, but mind you, only from your hands, using Evolution Ray won't help. And this attack does 120 and returns them back to your hand. Again, 2 Dark Pips, that means 1 Rocket Energy, and you're all set. And remember, you're drawing like up to 10 in your hand, so finding these things is pretty easy. So that's a splash sometimes, maybe a full part of a deck. Again, this archetype is very versatile, has the largest selection of cards, so there are many versions of decks, so it's very hard to just pick one. We have this, which isn't very much used, but is an interesting card you could possibly build around. This swaps energy, and this one does more damage if you have Rocket Energy on it. Again, you've seen that 2 cost there, so one single electric energy or 1 Rocket Energy there. Please note, same thing here, 1 Rocket Energy will do that. Let's go, we have Poison. Nothing much. This is 180. If you get 2 heads on a 1 prizer, not bad. There's also this version of the Rocket deck, which focuses on Porygon. So, discard. This one does 20 for each of your supporter with Rocket in your name. And this one costs less, but does the same, but has the ability to discard 2 cards from your hand, and you'll draw a card. So, this functions on discarding as much Rocket supporters to the graveyard as possible, and then attacking with it. So you could use them, you could discard them, doesn't matter, on a 1 prizer, and is super strong. We also have Ignition Energy added, and again, Rocket Energy, and ready to go. We have another of the birds, not particularly good. So this will just discard, it doesn't take a prize. So it will just get rid of your Pokemon, but you won't be taking prizes. I don't believe so anyway. So, there you go. And here we go. My favorite two parts of this from set. We have the Team Rocket's Mimikyu, which Gemstone Mimikyu allows you to copy the attack of any Terra Pokemon in play. That's in once active, sorry. So that means that you're copying any of the evolutions and knocking them out with their own Terrasta attack. That's the attack that costs 3 different color energy. And you're basically using a 68-point Pokemon with free retreat, as well as, again, Rocket Energy does this. You also have Team Rocket's Meowth, makes them put back around a card deck, and big guy here. Look at your opponent's top 10 cards and choose any Pokemon, then use an attack from it. Most of you play good cards. This is game breaking. Just imagine looking at top 10 cards, finding a Dragapult, and just smacking 2 Pokemon. That's really good. Or even it's almost limitless in what you could do with this. Pretty good. Then we have just a Murkrow. That's it. Not that good. It's kind of a cute little thing. And then we have this line. So these don't really have much in the way of special attacks. Choose 2 deck Pokemon, search your deck for the card I will from it and put them into your hand and put them into Pokemon involved them. So there's a Evo from Rocket Pokemon on a normal attack, but for dark ones that work with this. So Love Impact. This Pokemon has a Nidoking in its name. If a Pokemon that has Nidoking in its name is on your bench, its attack does 120 more. So that's 180 for 1 dark energy. Not bad. There you go. Nothing to write home about, but here we go. Big boy. He's an EX. 330. Tainted Horn. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, and during your checkup, put 8 damage counters on it. So it's 180 with a modified poison. Pretty good. Again, Rocket Energy covers this. Base any other energy covers that. And that's, again, a wholly separate deck. Those are like 3 different ones. So there's Mewtwo, there's Nidoking, there's Porygon, there's the Zubat to Golbat, there's even a Meowth or any combination between. And we still haven't gotten into all of the archetypes, by the way. So we still go in here and I'm on like almost 20 minutes, right? So let's move on to Blipbug. Nothing too good, just peep at a prize. Get up deck, here we go. Stage 2 though. As often as you like, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your Team Rocket Pokemon to another. So you could actually spread out damage that could knock you out using this, or make a nice setup to just get all the damage off using just the Wobbuffet. So, pretty strong card, even though it's a stage 2. So we'll see. We have this, again, free attack. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. That's not nothing. Also free retreat, so not bad. We have here Drowzee and this. Your opponent flips a coin for each of their bench Pokemon. This attack does 80 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon for each Tails. And isn't affected by weakness, so could be good. Haven't seen it, but could see play. Ekan isn't that special, but Arbok is broken, just ripe for playing. I have a deck brewing with us. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent can't play Pokemon from their hand with abilities except Rocket Pokemon. So this literally locks off a lot of decks and stops even Fez. So much support Pokemon is amazing. I'm surprised it's not seen much play, but I'll play it. We have Grimer. Discard different Pokemon. So if it doesn't retreat, Pokemon just gets discarded. No prize, it just straight in the grave. It's pretty good. Cooped up, confused, and can't retreat. 100 damage for each special condition. Meh. First one actually a lot better. Houndour, nothing special. if it dies in the active spot and it's damaged by an attack, you can actually unlock it. You can search for 2 Pokemon named Koffing and put them onto your bench. So yeah, it replaces itself. And then we have Wheezing. And this does 40 damage for each Koffing or Wheezing you have in play. Again, 1 prizer. And pretty good, because it said Koffing or Wheezing, it didn't just say Team Rocket's Koffing or Wheezing. So, again, this format has, as I'm saying it again, here are 0 under depths. There are other Koffings and Wheezings. This can get crazy. Let's say you have maybe 8. 8 may be the maximum on this. 8, let be more realistic here. Like what 6? 6 by 4 is 24. That's 240 for 1 rocket energy. That's really good. Team Rocket's Lavitar. This here. This attack evolves it up right away and does 50 damage. It's pretty good. And we have Team Rocket's Tyranitar. During your opponent's checkup side, if this Pokemon is in your active spot, put 2 damage counter on each of your opponent's basic Pokemon. So this is similar to Frostlass, except it's all your opponent basics and doesn't affect you. Pretty good, but this attack is so high and very difficult to use. Again, we got 2 off for rocket energy, but you still need the rock and the other colors. So, brewable, but can't see how well that'll go. And lastly, I would say worse for last, because I haven't figured out head or tail or seen this in play anyhow, even a brew. Team Rocket's Mareep. Search for item, Paralyze, just 140, and the ability is what's kind of useful, but you have to play from your hand. When you place Pokemon from your hand, evolve one of your Pokemon, put 4 damage counters on that Pokemon. Also, when your opponent evolves up, they take 4 damage counters. And it doesn't stack. So, it punishes your opponent for evolving their Pokemon. Again, not nothing, but very difficult to use, and I haven't seen any dex function on it. I could see, actually I can see a build with this, but it's a lot. Because this, and there's 2 Pokemon plus Landmine that put damage on things for putting energy on them. A punishment for energy and evolving seems really good. Like lots of damage, lots of output there. And maybe even throwing a couple Zubat and Crobat, and that would actually be quite good. But yeah, again, we'll see. Oh, we did miss Sneasel. Well, just a snipe, I guess. It does 20 damage for each damage count already on the Pokemon. That's our rocket energy. Not bad. But that'll be our finisher along with it, I guess. But yeah, that's the entire set reviewed there on almost 25 minutes to go through all of them. That's why I said video on its own. All in all, very versatile set, multiple decks can be made just in the Rocket archetype. There's full support, there's full everything. You get lots of benefits to playing Rocket only, but that doesn't mean that you can't splash in other things. If you're splashing things that leave, like the Dusknoir line, or you're splashing things that can draw like Fez to make up for some missing pieces, although you don't need Fez because you have Ariana and stuff. All in all, amazing set, and just for the creativity, because you can play so much Rocket and different strategies. Alright, now I have just one more set to go through, that's the Steven set, but that's pretty small, so I'll try to add a little surprise to that for y'all. Hope you'll enjoy this, and before I go, I'll just give my rating on like best. My best anyway. For me, Arbok is number 1. That's a broken effect if you figure out how to use it properly. After that, would be Persian. Again, spectacular ability. Then we have Mimikyu as a good tech index because those type of Pokemon are very prevalent. Because even if you come up against something like Wellspring or Upon, his attack actually copies it, so meaning that you could actually do it. That's pretty good. Then I would say the Mewtwo archetype would be next for me. Then the Porygon. Then the Nidoking, Nidoqueen archetype. This coming in near to last, and last being this damage archetype with Ampharos and the Zubat Crobat line. Everything else that doesn't fit in there isn't really anything you can really rely upon reliably, if that makes sense. Because trying to get a basic Pokemon with almost no damage, because it's inactive, you most likely can't attack, isn't going to win you the game. When there's a Tornado that stops items with a cheaper attack. The other birds other than Articuno aren't very useful. And there's nothing to Houndour and Houndour. The Mach isn't that strong. Koffing requires stuff outside of the set to function heavily. Blipbug is a stage 2. And again, coin flips and very weak. So this could get knocked out pretty quickly. So yeah, limited set review. Hope you found this insightful. I know it was super long. Thanks for being with me if you reached this far. And yeah, that's about it.